guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Sabrina and I would love it so much if you would subscribe. If you guys didn't know, September was Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month and I have been using my social media platforms to spread awareness. I'm doing the majority of the posting on Instagram, so if you guys do not follow me there, please do so. It's just at heysabrinafaith, and I'm going to be finishing up this month with this video, and it is what being disabled has taught me. I have been sharing a lot of lessons that I've learned over the 7 years that I've been injured, and I'm sure the longer I am injured, the more I will grow and learn. That's just part of growing up. But there are a couple things that I wanted to share with you. One of them is something that I should have talked about in my relationships video, but I want to tackle it here as a more in-depth thing. There were people that I was close to when I got injured that unfortunately I did pull away from. I drifted apart from after my accident, and I will be honest with you, at first I was very angry with them. I was upset because I felt like this is one of the hardest times in my life so far, and you guys are supposed to be my friends and you're leaving me high and dry. I felt very, very alone in that time, and I'm very thankful that I have a sister who is amazing. I have a family that stepped up for me and who were there for me and was my support system, because otherwise I think that it would have been a lot harder for me. But now that I've been injured for a while, I kind of have a different outlook on it, and I want to share that because I think that it could be helpful to people. The people who drifted apart from me during my accident, I don't think that I can fault them anymore, and I have forgave them because I don't think it's anything that they purposely did. I'm sure there are some people who were turds and who walked away from the situation, but there are some people who are amazing people still to this day. We just drifted apart. I got injured at 19, guys, so that is a time where people are being reckless. They're going to parties, they're getting into college, they're doing all this cool stuff, and I unfortunately had to take the back seat and sit down, pun intended, because I was focusing on healing and I was focusing on becoming independent again. So I can't really fault those people for not halting their life for me, because if I would have been able to walk away from my situation, I would have in a heartbeat. I didn't want to live it, so how can I expect somebody else to want to go through it too? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, at first I was angry and I was really upset and I held it against those people, but now I realize that I don't think that it was a personal thing. I don't think it was like, oh, we hate Sabrina, the disabled girl. I think it was just they were busy living their life and I was busy living mine, and life just called us in two different paths. That happens to everybody. That happens to everybody at some point in their life, and I think it was just easier for me to automatically think like these people aren't my friends because I'm disabled, but I don't think that that was it for the majority of people. So I see that a lot of people say like, being disabled taught me who my real friends were. Yeah, there are people who I know will have my back through thick and thin and who love me unconditionally and who have had my back, but I think some people who weren't there for me, it was no fault of their own. I don't think they're bad friends. I just think that life pulled us in different directions. Another thing that my disability taught me was how to take control of my mental health. I'm gonna be sharing kind of a personal story right now, and content warning, trigger warning, I am talking about self-harm. I shared this story on my Facebook, and it's really the first time that I've talked about it publicly, and I'm not sharing this for pity or sympathy, but I'm sharing it so that you guys can maybe use this as a reference for you if you're someone who's going through this. There was one point at my accident when I lived, the first apartment that I lived in, I had fallen and I was having a really, really hard time getting up. The point, like I said, I lived alone and I didn't have anyone to turn to, and I had been trying for several hours, I feel like, to get up. I don't remember how long. And during this, I had an accident where I pooped all over my couch, which no longer exists. And I was just so frustrated because it was getting everywhere and I couldn't get up and I couldn't clean myself. And I was so frustrated, and I tried reaching out for help and nobody was answering, and I felt so frustrated and so alone. And somehow I got a knife. I don't remember where. I would have had to go to the kitchen, but I don't remember where I got it from. And I had the notion in my head that I was going to cut my leg, and I did. I cut it twice. The first time I cut it pretty deep, and the second time not so much. And then I like snapped out of it and I realized I couldn't stop bleeding, and I started to freak out because I'm like, now I've got poop everywhere and now I'm bleeding and I can't stop. And I remember I called my sister and I just said like, hey, I've fallen and I cut myself and I'm bleeding and I was bawling. And she said she'll be right there. When she got there, she was like, Sabrina, how did you do this? And I said, that knife over there. And she set me down once I got up and got cleaned up, and we had a discussion that night. And I made a promise to her and I made a promise to myself that I would never be that person again. I think for so long I was trying to be strong so that other people who were around me, their feelings wouldn't get hurt, and it came to bite me. So I made an appointment with a therapist and I started seeing a therapist. And I'm not gonna say that I don't struggle. There are times where I get frustrated with this body for not working and I take it out on my body, but I've learned a lot about how to stop that maybe if it happens, and how to talk through my feelings, and how to be thankful for the body that I've been given and how hard it's worked and how much it's done to keep me alive. So I've really tried hard at focusing on that, but my accident kind of forced me to take better care of myself mentally, because otherwise I do not think physically that I would be alive today. I think that I would have ended up harming myself, just because there are times where this got so overwhelming. I'm sure that there are other things that my disability has taught me, but I wanted to talk about those two things in specific because I see them being brought up a lot around the disabled community, and I kind of wanted to share my thoughts on it. So if you guys have any opinions or stories that you want to share in the comments, feel free. If you guys would like to make a video in response to this, I would love it. Just let me know so that I can watch it. I love getting the conversation started, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching all the videos if you did, and allowing me to share my story and spread awareness on my social media platforms. I will see you guys in my next video, and I love you guys so much. Bye.